Sifu Raphael is the founder and host of Coaching Call, Heroes Rising, The Seer Show, and New Tip Daily. He works with individuals, groups, and businesses and helps them find clarity, purpose, and understanding of who they really are in business and personal life. Sifu Raphael has used his skills to develop a variety of multifaceted businesses in the martial arts and fitness industries. He owns and operates a 10,000 square foot martial arts and fitness facility in New York. Jose Escobar is an award-winning, nationally recognized personal development speaker, published author, and sales professional. He leads compelling, high-level communities consisting of entrepreneurs and advanced leaders through his two business models, the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf and the Connected Leaders Academy. He is also the co-host of Heroes Rising.
Welcome, everybody, to Heroes Rising. What an amazing show we are about to have. I just want to let you know that Jose Escobar could not be here with us today, but he does have a great message for everybody. Let's take a listen, and then we were going to bring my exceptional stand-in co-host. Just take a listen to Jose.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JAESCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
Well, here you are, Clint. You are the man. I mean, last minute standing, you come in full force. I know that you've been dealing with a lot of internet issues and all these things, but man, you stepped up. So thank you. Thank you for being here today. You're an incredible human being. Thank you, my friend.
Well, thank you for having me. And yes, it's been an eventful day here. We started out with thunderstorms here in Dallas, but I am raring to go. Excited to be with you.
Yes, and we have two amazing guests, and I'd love to bring them on. We have Lisa. And we have Ahmard. You guys, my God, I am just thrilled that you guys are on my show. And here's the beautiful thing. I have your books. I have your books. You guys are incredible, exceptional humans, right? So thank you so much for joining me. Just a quick shout out to everybody who loves the show, listens to us regularly, and to my exceptional co-host and these amazing guests. How's everybody doing today?
Awesome.
Just so happy to be here.
Grateful to be part of this awesome panel.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I really want to start everybody off with, I call Lisa my sister. We had an immediate connection, just like right off the bat. You know, she to me is a sister. You know, once we connected, we both knew we would be in each other's life forever.
Yes, before I think Lisa, we claimed it.
I'm sorry?
Claimed that. I said we claimed that.
That's right. We did. You know, Lisa, before you became a health and wellness coach and trainer, focusing on helping other people to feel better every single day, you were on the fast track as a federal prosecutor and a civil rights coordinator in the state of New Jersey. You left everything, I mean, everything, to pursue your longtime dream of singing and acting full-time. Let me tell you, people, it was not a dream. She actually did it. It became a reality. My sis succeeded. She was on stage and on TV and even went on to singing solo at Carnegie Hall. Oh my gosh, I wish I would have been there that day. And then she lost her singing voice. Wow. But you know, she is a fighter. This is why I love her so much. Lisa changed her lifestyle. She lost weight permanently and focused on brain-body wellness and created a non-boring approach as a top coach and as my sister. Lisa, share with us.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, thank you. It never ceases to amaze me sometimes listening to the things that you've done your whole life being repeated to you in such a nice way. So first of all, I'm just humbled to be a part of this today. I think, it's interesting when you're saying about the transitions, we all go through transitions. Mm-hmm. And so what I love about sharing my story is that yes, you can have some major setbacks. You can have something such as seeing your future going in a different way and making all the plans and making all the connections, and then having something come in your way that really derails you. And the question is not to prevent those things from ever happening or to just on a hope and a wing and a prayer, hope that life will continue without any bumps or bruises in it. But what do you do when you're knocked off your horse? Like, what do you do? And for me, one of the things that is just so fundamental is giving people the empowerment, just the words of wisdom, but also just that strong internal sense of power and freedom to be able to deal with whatever comes your way. And I definitely practice what I preach. I don't wish things on anyone, but I know that things happen. That's the end of the day. And, I was really excited about being able to come to share with you today, just about what do you do when those things happen? I know what I've done in certain parts of my life, but what do you do when some things happen that create a greater, deeper sense of pain, frustration, grief? Where do you go from there?
Where do you go?
Well, yeah. Glad you asked. And I'm glad I'm here to share. First of all, just that you could still laugh and have a smile. That's one thing, I'll tell you. But it came to me, and I'll be honest with you. We've gone through so much in terms of talking about my own journey. I was in a real great position. My business was working with Rutgers University and their Brain Health Institute and running programs for them as a health coach. So I came into that whole foray as a health coach and was definitely wrote a book, was teaching, and life struck me as it strikes so many with the loss of both my brothers. And the reason I say that, yes, commit to live, is that gives the roadmap on how you even start that journey, right? To really know yourself, to know those things that make you, uniquely you, and that make you strong enough to withstand either metamorphosis of the body, metamorphosis of thoughts, metamorphosis of brain health, whatever it is, you have to start somewhere. And so I would love to write the book just to give people that. But one of the things that I wanted to add today, because I think it really sets you up, the commit really goes through those fundamental things of how you eat, how you move, how you breathe, but how you see yourself, how you determine who you are truly from the inside out, and then how you can live those principles. But in living those principles, you can experience loss, and you can experience pain, and you can experience setbacks. And I cannot tell you how many clients I've had or how many people I've spoken to doing some of my speaking engagements where people come up and say, I was doing so well, life was going well, but this thing happened and I'm still grieving about it. And some of the things that, I found even in my own recent grief of losing my twin brothers, who really were my best friends, and my younger brothers, what were the stages? We know the stages of grief, but what can you do? What are things that you can actually do to make a difference? And so really it took the time to kind of think about a journey because we're always on a journey. We're always trying to move forward in our lives. And so the thing of that expression that someone would always say is time heals all wounds. And yes, but what are you doing in the time? That makes a difference. And so with this journey, I was really taking the best of brain science, the best of exercise physiology, and then really spiritual awareness, and combining all of them together to say there are things that we can do in this process. And one of the things is not do, which is just to deny the process, deny what's going on, bury it, avoid it. And so that's really one of the biggest components, is just how do you develop a sense of patience in the midst of pain? And how can you look at this situation while you're in the midst of it and still get the hope for the brilliance that this pain can and possibly can create if you are in the right mindset, the right body set, the right spiritual set. And, I love when certain things come to me. It was sort of downloaded to me in full measure, this journey. And so one of the vital steps is kind of finding that beauty in brokenness. I mean, you asked me a question, I was smiling, but I was talking about pain. But, a lot of times we're in the midst of something, there are moments that we can reconnect with those things that are so brilliant and beautiful around us. And if it's nature, if it's movement, if it's exercise, if it's whatever it is, if it's a loving touch of other people or loving words, if it's a choice on our part to be open enough to receive, so that we can be patient to allow this pain to have an opportunity to show and to create a pathway to its possibilities. But one thing that I really wanted to share, because it's a whole journey. But when we're talking about the things, and you have another guest that really loves fitness and wellness, and I know that you'll be all into, can you take something that's a fitness exercise and mix it with something that is going to ignite the brain? And so it's really going to ignite the brain and the spirit and do it simultaneously. And so one of the things that I really have started to write about, and I'm going to be speaking about soon in Arizona, actually, is taking a step in gratefulness, or a grateful step, and really combining the concept and the work of walking and being grateful, and the science behind holding on to one thing that you're most grateful for. And this is in the midst of when you're going through so you're feeling grief, but you can hold on to something that you're grateful for, and walking at the same time, and allow the body to really heal itself in ways that you can't even put on one sheet of paper. All the things that walking is doing for you, from the brain, through the body, through every single organ, single system. But the thing that gratefulness can do for you, which is really helping you from, emotional, mental, and physical, and really helping to reprogram the brain right then and there to help you to stay more in the positive side of thoughts, even in the midst of pain. And so I really love the idea of the combination of powerhouses. So I have something called, the grateful step. I have something called the forgiving breath. Those powerhouses done together can really make maximum difference in you really reconnecting. And that's what's happening, actually. If you think about any time we've been in pain, I know for myself, you have to make your way back. Some of it is reconnecting with yourself and your own personal love, and really understanding who you truly are. You're not the pain, but you're this other person that still has a long way and many other roads to flower and to really show yourself in all your glory. So you're making that road back, but you're also making a road back to others. In my research, which was really amazing, there was a 75-year study done of Harvard University, 75 years of what is true happiness, like what makes people truly happy. And it really fundamentally comes down to relationships. So I like to say, of course, relationship with yourself starts there, but it's the relationships with others. And when you can really utilize that and understand that it's not just something very nice to do. It's not something that, you should just feel obligated to do. This is a health imperative. So at the end of the day, I love to take anything that, my whole business model really is embracing the brain-body belief connection, but also really looking at wellness in a reimagined way. So it's not the four corners of a gym. It's not just having a proper mindset, and it's not just what you eat. It's all measures of life and living that affects wellness. So for me, it is how you deal with grief and pain. It is how you sleep, and it is how you breathe. And it is all these things that a lot of people don't talk about as much when we talk about wellness and fitness. But at the fundamental core, it is that relationship. And it is that relationship with yourself and with others. And so there's so many different ways to explore it. And I love giving, for the journey I have, really, it's very so simple. It's just 4 steps or 4 way stations in the journey. I mentioned 1 is patience. 2 is really this kind of development of love of self and being open and taking in love and understanding the brain science of that and the physiology of that, as well as the heart side of it. And then, letting the love grow with the 2 methods that I gave you of that grateful step and that forgiving breath. And then finally, letting it out, letting it flow, like how you connect with others. I had a chance to do a TV appearance about something that I wanted to have as spread across the world. I'm still like on this. It's called Others Day. It's a day that you really just focus on others. And I just will, leave with this particular thing. I know that in kindness, not only are you flooding your body with endorphins and all of those, and you are having a major impact on your heart and your vascular health, your endocrine system, your immune system. I mean, really all the systems within your body you are impacting. But in addition to that, you're having such a profound impact on the person you're being kind to. They're having a similar type experience just by your act. And it doesn't have to be big. Matter of fact, size of a small smile, handshake, a pat on the back, it can be any of those things. So when we talk about kindness, and then the other thing, which I think is just so amazingly exciting to me, is that everyone that sees that act, everyone that sees it gets to impact it as well. And so we can have the same physical, mental, and emotional impact. And so at the end of the day, I love, setting up those kind of challenges for, we think in business, when you go to corporate setting, they're like, okay, so what is the structure? What instructors are you bringing in to run this class? But I love challenges that are going to, I think, more profoundly impact employees with kindness challenges, with forgiveness challenges, in coming back and really reporting on what you felt internally, but also, the impact that you had on others. So that I think at the end of the day, the message is that there is always hope. Doesn't matter what you're in, doesn't matter what your circumstance, but there also are things that you can actively do to move yourself towards the vision that you see for yourself.
Beautiful. I know when your brothers passed, and there was tremendous of you even coming back from it, and the way you came back. Of course, there's always a mourning that we go through anytime anybody passes, but you're remembering them because of the beautiful people they were, right? You remember all the fun things. And when we think about growth, right, that's what they would want for you. They would want to see you happy. They would want to see you continue on your journey, which you are an incredible human being, and you're so strong. And it's because of everything that you were just talking about. I mean, you kind of like, man, you hit us over the head with everything you were saying. There's so much information. We got to like really absorb it all. So great content, great stuff. And I know it was a short time. I think we need about 10 days to just have you explain it all again. But we'll have to do a big summit with that. And so I really appreciate you being here and sharing that wealth that you have in there with us. You definitely have a fit brain, my dear.
Thank you, my brother. I so appreciate that. I think if people just take away the word love and know that love is something more than just a wonderful term, but it has every impact on every side of your body, emotionally, mentally, physically.
Oh, without a doubt. once again, thank you so much for, man, honoring me with being here. So always love you. You know that.
Thank you.
I'd like to talk about this gentleman who, like, really, he did a show with me this morning. And at the end of the show, I said, hey, by the way, what are you doing at 12 o'clock your time? He's like, your show? He didn't actually say that, but I kind of twisted his arm from long distance. I know he's in Texas, but Clint Hatton is an incredible person. He's an author, a motivational speaker, transformational, and a leadership coach. And he is also the founder of Big, Bold, Brave, based in Dallas, Texas. Clint has had the privilege and honor to train leaders, host events, emceed certain fundraisers, and gives talks to hundreds of thousands of people over the last 20 years. Man, there's a lot of talks. I hope that, you bring some nice tea for your throat, right? He's done that in the United States and abroad. Clint has a track record of creating energy, delivering dynamic content, and giving audiences the tools to transform their lives immediately. But he was a minister for, I think, 17 years. Is that right, Clint?
Right.
Sorry.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. We love to, hear, oh my God, so much experience, so much love, and you've helped so many people. And we had that discussion earlier, and you and I have had so many. Now, Lisa's my sister, and now, I know that you're my brother now. So my family keeps growing, and I know, Ahmard, you and I, my friend, we're going to just keep going with these things, right? So Clinton, what do I keep calling you, Clinton? I apologize. I know it's Clint.
We'll get it out of you. We'll get it out of you.
We'll get it on. It's because I want you to, Clint, get on, right? So Clint, go for it, my friend.
Well, thank you for having me today. I'm blown away at what you're doing. We have a lot more in common than you probably would know, because we haven't really had a chance to talk. But it's my honor to have been just a small part of helping people over these last 20 years. It's something I love to do. My wife and I both have done a lot of things together. Was a pastor for 17 years, as Sifu Raphael pointed out, and been mentoring and coaching for the better part of 20 years. One of the things I love about that is what I have found is that so often, to Lisa's point, no matter what life throws at you, you have everything in you necessary to overcome it, to move forward, and to eventually even thrive through the pain. And a lot of people just don't necessarily know that, and it just needs to be drawn out of them. There's three things I believe about every human being on the planet, and we heard that in Lisa's talk. And one is that you were created to be courageous. I sincerely believe that. I believe courage is inside of you. It's not this nebulous thing that you've got to somehow search for or see if you can find it. It's inside of you, and it's ready to come out. And sometimes there's situations, you see where I saw recently a teenager who jumped into a frozen lake to help pull out a lady and her dog whose vehicle was beginning to be submerged. That's courage that was inside of him, that because there was a moment that required it, he didn't have time to think, right? He just acted courageously. But there's also a lot of times where we get punched in the mouth, or things don't go our way, or we have relationships that need healing, and we need to have a courageous conversation. The courage is in you. Sometimes it just takes somebody to stir it up a little bit. But I believe the second thing about all of us is that we were created with a creative genius as well. What that means is that you have within you the ability to problem solve and come up with ideas and strategies that are very unique. My wife is an artist. I know a lot of people don't necessarily think of themselves as creative. Typically, when we ask that, somebody, are you creative? Somebody will think, well, if they're a musician or an artist or something like that, or writer, that's creative. But there's many forms of creativity. I have a friend who is a forensic accountant, and I'm telling you, the work he does, that is a type of creative genius. So I believe everybody is uniquely designed to have a massive impact in the world around them. And then the third one is I believe everybody was created to be compassionate. And boy, if we ever lived in a world that needed compassion, I love Lisa used the word kindness. If we ever needed a world full of kind people that were compassionate towards others, it's today. But I believe it's already in you. I just believe we need to get over a lot of our fears. We need to get over a lot of our unhealthy mindsets and prejudices, and then we can learn how to be really compassionate people. But I want to second something that Lisa said. I'm so blown away by what you're doing, and I love everything that you said. 3.5 years ago, we lost our 17-year-old son to a tragic plane crash. And, it was a devastating blow to our family. I have two other boys, one who's now 18 and another one who's 13. And so much of what you said is just so important for not just people who have suffered a major tragedy or have, been through the grieving journey. I love the way you said that, the grieving journey, the way that we have, you losing your brothers and me losing my son. But boy, the things that you talked about, using your body, getting active, getting physical, exercising, incorporating your spiritual side of your life, all those things, health, wellness, those are all things that have been really critical pillars in helping us move forward and not even away from the pain, because we're going to be in pain for the rest of our lives on some levels with losing our son. You don't replace that. And it represents the great love that we shared, right? So it's not even about removing pain, but you do need to live your life, and you do need to have an impact, and you do need to have hopes and dreams to carry you forward. And so I hope everybody listening to this day gets your book and follows you. You've really said some powerful things today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Glenn.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So that's, I just want to share, that's the guitars behind him is his sons that passed. And I got to tell you, he taught himself to play.
That's right.
Right. And that's incredible. And he taught him, he became a pilot, and that's unfortunately how he lost a young pilot too.
Yep.
Right. Let me tell you, I am blown away by everybody here. And that's why I am blessed to have each one of you here on the panel with me. So Clint, always an amazing, amazing things that you're doing, the way you touch upon people's lives, everything that you're doing, as a minister, you helped so many people. And I know it was a tough call for you to step away a little bit, but you're on a different journey of your life. You're still helping people. You're just doing it differently. And I love the journey that you're on. Look at Lisa. She was a prosecutor. Lisa, I'm going to tell him that you had to be hidden away from the mob for a little while. Is that true? Right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I don't think I'll forget, Robbie. Yeah. I had the SWAT team escort me for about 9 months of my life.
Oh, I thought it was 7, 9. Okay. Cool.
It's 9. Yeah. Well, SWAT team and FBI. So 7 for the SWAT, 2 for the FBI.
There you go.
Yeah.
The journey, the life that we have is so beautiful that we can't take one day for granted. That's why I don't like it when people go, "Oh, it's Monday." I'm like, "You're alive, aren't you? You should be grateful it's Monday."
Right.
I know that Clint is about to introduce to us an amazing athlete, a person who just said he's going to go get his weights and he's going to come work out with us. So go for it, Clint.
It is my fellow Texan too, I might add. So come on, man. And you got the southern part of the state. I got the northern. So we're in good shape here in Texas. But it's my honor, my privilege to introduce Ahmard Vital. I'm sorry, I always want to give stuff an accent. Vital. He's an amazing motivational consultant, international speaker, and author. Ahmard is empowering people globally with his international and inspirational guidance and tips for self-development. He provides his audiences with tools that they need to achieve personal success, to utilize their willpower and determination, and to develop strategies that allow people of all ages to achieve personal and professional excellence. So we know Ahmard is going to kick us in the teeth a little bit today, but in the best of ways. Let me turn it over to you. Come on, brother. What you got?
Oh, man. Thank you all for the beautiful intros. And it's like, you want me to come in the middle of all of this, but I'm glad to be amongst believers. I'm glad to be amongst creators, and I'm glad to be amongst people who are looking to make a difference in today's world. And so I just want to jump right into it. I want to make sure and be timely with everything. And we're going to start within so that we may win. You might say, what the heck does that even mean? Start within and win starts with looking in the mirror, looking at the image, looking back at you and seeing, what is it that I see? And you may see a whole bunch of things. Some of you might be like, oh my goodness, I got a pimple over here. You know, I didn't hit the shave too well, things of that nature. But what you see is untapped potential. You see untapped potential, which means there's a fire. See, when you were born, there's a fire that was placed within you. And this is always going to be present. And the fire is always burning. But here's the kicker. You have to provide the gas. You are responsible for the gas to keep that going. You know, some people say there's a fuel of life. There's a fuel that's inside of you, and you have to keep doing those things. And so a tagline I like to use a lot is keep showing up on the field of life. Keep showing up on the field of life. And basically, when you say keep showing up to what? Well, you get to decide that. You know, what drives you each day? Is it your family? Is it your freedom? Is it your faith? All those things you get to decide. Maybe it's all three. But the bottom line is that we are all athletes, or like I like to call ballers, on the field of life. We're all playing a different game. We all have different professions. We all have different businesses. We all have different things and purposes, missions that we are on this field of life. And so we want to look at ways to be able to enhance that person who shows up, that beautiful soul who shows up and makes big and amazing things happen. And so, as many of you may not know, I came up in the sports world. I've been pretty much a jock. Raphael threw that out there pretty clearly. I'm pretty much a fitness junkie at this point, but I was a 3-sport athlete coming up. And one of the early projects I did was write a book called Awaken the Baller Within, which basically did the same thing Napoleon Hill did with millionaires I did with athletes. And so there was a profile that was created from that, where football was used as a metaphor for life. And so if you know anything about football, for our football fans out there, there's typically 3 things coaches say they want to happen during the offseason. Look here, we need to get bigger, stronger, and faster. Well, I'm pretty sure some of you out there might be like, I really don't need to get bigger. I can stand to get a little stronger, and I'm not sure these legs have any more speed left in them. Fair enough, and that's okay, because we're not talking about being on the field like that in any way, shape, or form. When we talk about getting bigger, what we want you to do is have bigger goals, bigger expectations, right? That whole just enough mindset is not what's going to get things done. So when we talk about bigger, stronger, and faster, the first thing we want to have is bigger goals, bigger expectations, and go out there. Stronger. And what I would say was stronger is stronger in your faith, stronger in your belief system, stronger in something that is bigger than you, right? This life we live is not for us, not merely for us. It's supposed to be for something larger. It's supposed to be the idea that something grander is available for you through what you do for others. And of course, faster. And the faster is going to tie in a little bit to what we talked about with the stronger, is faster to give the generosity to others, faster to be someone of service, to do all of these great and amazing things. And that's where we're going to kind of have our backdrop. And then we'll go right on into, you're probably asking, how do I get from where I am now to where I am trying to go and trying to achieve all of these great and amazing things? So let's jump right on into it. We have 5 steps here. We have 5 steps we're going to jump into. And the first one is to reflect. you will never be able to move forward until you know where you are. You look around your house, and it's like, man, there's a pile of clothes over there. There's a kid screaming over there, all these different things. You need to do that with your mind and in your life. How did we get here, and what caused the situation we are currently in? What got us to this point? It's a beautiful question to ask. And it's when you start going through and you're looking at all the challenges, the wins, the losses, the adversities, the pains, the deaths, and you say, okay, what is good here? What's the good? Sifting through all the ashes, where are the diamonds? And that's what you do during the reflect stage. Then you have to say, okay, I see what's here. I found a few diamonds. There's a couple rubies over here, and I found a couple of dollars over there. Bet, we're ready to get going. Now it's time to decide. Now, what do I want to do? What new thing, what new task do I want to do? If I could snap my fingers and say, this is what I'm deciding I want to do, and it can be that, what is that for you? Is it to launch a business, write a book, start a family, change careers, go to college? All of these different things, develop a skill for a trade. Whatever that is, you need to decide. And this is where you start, writing down some loose ideas. And I'm not talking about typing it into some app. I'm talking about pen to pad, pulling out your pen, writing it on plain pieces of paper so that you can understand it, so you can read it, so you can have that full emotional connection to what you put on those pieces of paper. And then after you decide you want to go in and you need to plan. Hey, what are we doing here? That's your mind maps. That is your business plan. That is your laying out of all of these different things, because you're wondering, okay, I want to go into this profession. Do I need training? What resources do I need? Who's the best at already doing this and I should follow up with? All of these things are chosen during the decide factor of the situation. You start gaining the resources needed to be able to make this move that you've already decided upon. And of course, after you get done planning, it's time to take action. It's time to take action. And you might be saying, well, I'm not quite ready. You'll never be ready. I'll say that again. You'll never be ready. Anybody on this panel, all of these entrepreneurs out here, they've all had business plans. And I can tell you right now, they've scrapped half of them. Why? Because you go out there into the real world and the real world punches you in the mouth and you're just like, wow, I didn't know I'd lose 2 teeth messing around with this, but this is what happens. And so you go out and you take action. You take action and you go out there and you learn. You run into the roadblocks. You sprain your ankle, fall out of a tree. All of these things are needed for you to be able to build up to what you are trying to do. Because see, you need the struggle, right? We need the caterpillar to butterfly situation to happen for us to be able to expand and be able to create something new in our lives. And so whether you're ready or not, which you won't be, go out there and take action. And our last, and I will say one of the most consequential parts of this 5-step process is to seek. And this is where you talk about seeking guidance, right? Anyone who says they're a one-man show is lying to you, right? No one does life alone. Come on. No one, and I know that's encouraged. That's encouraged on all levels. Get in your silo, get it out of the mud. That's not true. You need a group of people around you. You need an accountability ally, a mentor, someone who can hold you accountable for things. So what you put on that paper and say, this is, I want this, and this, that person can look over that and say, hey, where are we on step number 2? Where are we on pursuing the funding for this? Where are we on you getting the education needed? Have you registered for the classes? Hey, where are you? Where are we on the you changing your profession over to something else? Have you enrolled in college yet? What are we doing? And this is where you have a panel, a council of sorts, right? You want someone who's, a mentor, someone who's kind of like a jack of all trades in your life that can help you out on a multitude of levels. And then you want the old school. I like to call him the old school guy, the patriarch, the grandfather's got 18 generations under him. I'm exaggerating here, but you understand my point. The guy, when you come to the family reunion, everyone's like, oh, you need to go make sure and see Pete. You don't get to come through the doors unless you go see him and tell him hello, because he's the grandfather. He's the leader of the family. He created all of this. And you want to make sure and have that type of person who can guide you in life, because they have life lessons. See, you can't teach experience. You can't age obviously is only a number, but there's certain things that come with age. There's things you know at 40 that you didn't know at 25. You could be the smartest 25-year-old, but there's something that 40-year-old knows that you will not know because you haven't been there. And that's where it comes in with the experience. So you want to be able to seek those things. And And as we close it out on these 5 points, right? We're talking about reflection. We're talking about deciding. We're talking about planning. We're talking about acting, and we're talking about seeking. As we close out, I want us, as we're making these new moves, as we're talking about becoming a hero and making new moves, I want you to think about something. Here's a question that you get that somebody poses out a lot of times. It's like, if I do all of this, what will I get? And perhaps we need to change the question, because we need to change the mindset if we want to get into the action of doing things that's going to be beneficial for all instead of just for you. Instead of saying, what will I get? Change the question to, whom can I serve? Whom can I serve? And when you get into that point, now your mindset is shifted from the idea that you're going out to get something. Instead, you're going out to provide something, a service, a word. You know, we have a minister, we have a pastor on the panel with us right now, understanding that the idea of giving, you receive from the giving, right? And you don't even do the giving knowing that you're going to get something in return, but it always happens that way. But your heart is, you know what? I want to serve the greatest number of people with the greatest number of service so that the world can be a little bit better than before I got here. That's where you want to be in your life. And I'll leave you with this quote. My father told it to me when I was very young, and I've never forgotten it. And I want to share it with the audience here. Live the best life you can, then give it all away. Live the best life you can, then give it all away.
Amen.
Amen. That was awesome.
Amen to that.
That was beautiful.
That
Can
is
I
for
just
sure.
say something? That was
Absolutely.
that was one of those moments. If people can really jump into the 5 steps that you gave and be able to see their life and envision it far greater than ever anyone could envision it for them, opening themselves up. And, you know, just as you were speaking, I saw how every word that was said this afternoon, it's like you get people that can do that to go forward. But if something breaks, if something derails, they know how to get back on track because they've had the good foundation. Now they have a way of, when pain strikes, how to not let that define them, how to get back on the road. And so I love when a panel comes together that can really complement a life well lived. And I think that's, to me, that's what, like the skies opened up. That's what it said. This is a life well lived, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I loved when you talked about it's not your time. If you're 25, you don't know what a 40-year-old is.
Yeah.
That was inspirational right there, because a lot of people, they want to step into someone else's shoes, but they haven't had the experience to do so. So they can't. It's not your time. Right?
So good. Yeah.
Absolutely,
So good.
absolutely. And
You know what's nice about that too?
You all are inspiring, very much so. As you were sharing, and found out the story of the guitars, about Lisa, your brother, whatever. Like you get into the idea that, like, I went into a moment of gratitude for both of them from the standpoint of, I think about with the fact that they're still here in a different way, and it's like, what did they provide for you all to create the person who sits in front of us right now? And that was the first thing that came to my mind as you all were sharing. I'm just like, how did her brother pour into her to where she's able to do this and generate so much support at this level? What did your son do for your family that's going to be a lasting legacy, to where every time you take a stage, every time you get on a panel, where it's like, you know what? This is in honor of, because he provided fill in blank here. And so I just went a little bit off on that, but that was just something that hit me while you were going on. So thank you all for that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I resonated with Lisa because I also lost my brother. He was 42, too young. But here's the thing. It's what we do after, right? I think that's everything. And how do we honor God with their memories?
What's interesting is, when I was, even not just on that note, it came to me that all of these things that we go through was almost like a broken piece. It's like a piece of our lives, but it's a broken piece. And when people would say to me, I think well-meaning, like, oh, well, that's not a part of you, or, sometimes when we go through things, people say like, well, that's behind you, and then move forward. But the piece will never be behind you. It is a piece of you, all pieces, all of our lives, both good, bad, ugly, whatever wonderful experiences are all pieces of us. And what we can do is reimagine that piece. We can transform that piece. We can let that piece sort of inform us as to some other greater level that we can achieve. So I love this, that we are all of that, and we are sum total of all those things. And to me, that was, when that came to me, that was such a healing message for me, because we carry it with us.
That's so good, Lisa. It made me think, one of the challenges I had in the beginning before I ended up deciding to write the book that I wrote, Big Bold Brave, which was, Ahmad, inspired by my oldest son. So you are already ahead of it, not even knowing my story. But, I think
I think I have that book here somewhere. Wait a minute. I was reading
I think what was tough in the beginning was just simply, I didn't want our tragedy to be our identity to everybody.
That's good.
I didn't want everybody to look at me and say, gosh, that poor dad or that poor family. And not that they can't empathize with the loss, but what ended up happening for me, and I'm a man of faith, as you know now, I felt like what God spoke to me is listen, this isn't your identity, but it is part of your story. And that's what I'm hearing you. When you were talking about pieces, I imagined a mosaic, right? This really beautiful mosaic that's made from broken pieces and often are colorful, right? And that's really what it's like. Right? We have these broken pieces of our life, but when they're properly placed, they become something beautiful. And so I love that. But Ahmad, before I jump off completely here, I got to say, I want to do 100 push-ups or go run through my wall.
Let's go. Before we go on, I think that everybody has to definitely follow every one of these coaches who are on this panel. But I want to share something really, really important with you guys. Take a look at Lisa's material here. Did you make him do push-ups, by the way?
Yes, I did. That's the funniest story. He was supposed to come in. He was supposed to come in for a photo op. But there's no way. I love this guy. I'm like, no, come in the class. He's like, but I have a suit on. I'm like, okay, do some squats and do all sorts of stuff. He was such a good sport. He said I was going to rip his pants. He said his pants were too tight. He said, you're having me down. I did want him to do a push-up. I couldn't get him on the ground.
That's incredible.
Awesome.
My favorite all time. So I love seeing that.
Really was everything they said he was is how he was in person, which was nice. When those two things match up, they don't always match up, but when they do, it's great.
It's a beautiful thing, right?
Sifu Raphael, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to do something, because some of my audience that's watching here today may not be familiar with you. So if you would just bear with me for a second, I want to tell them just a little bit about you, and then you can take us home and do whatever we're going to do next. But I just want to share a little bit about my friend Sifu Raphael. We met through a podcast. I guess it's been probably a couple of months ago now, and just had an amazing time. We're kindred spirits. This man has a heart of gold. Haven't met too many people that want to help people as much as this man. But he's also the founder of Heroes Rising. And he also does not need a hobby, because he's got 4 other unique shows which are done live, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I know he does as well. He's a fitness professional. He's a solutions expert. He's an executive coach. He's the head instructor at Max's Martial Arts and Fitness in New York. And Sifu's purpose is to unite like-minded individuals to create possibilities and impact the world that we live in. And that's what he's doing. And he has something that he really believes, and that is that we can all change the world. And most importantly, we need to start with ourselves, and then we can help others. And so that's something that you live by. That's something that you exude. And I just wanted to share you with my audience as well, and just say thank you for everything you are doing. Thank you for allowing me to be on this show. Thank you for introducing me to two incredible people. And I'm going to bounce it back to you.
Well, thank you, my friend. One of the things that I always say, and it's very interesting that we're all basically talking about the same topic. So, you know, Ahmard, you brought it up, and I was like, hey, is he going to talk about what I'm talking about? And we all did. And imagine this for a moment, that you are in an accident and your life was in danger, and no one is coming to your aid. Think about that for a moment. How would you feel? You and I know, we all know that is not really going to happen in a world full of heroes. And Ahmad, you brought up the word heroes, and you started talking about it, and everyone, yes, is a hero. But I love to talk about heroes. Heroes, oh my gosh, love heroes. Plus, you know, I'm a big fan of all the superhero movies too. So heroes are often seen as larger than life. People with extraordinary abilities and powers and all this craziness. Superhuman strength. Think about Superman, Spider-Man, all these people. But in reality, heroes are simply ordinary people who do amazing things. Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, look at the people on my panel right here. Each one is a hero. They can be firefighters, police officers, doctors, nurses, teachers, your parents, or even people like you and me. Heroes are those who put others before themselves and act with courage, integrity, and selflessness. Let's go back to that accident I talked about in the beginning, just for a second. Now, what would it look like if you had all those heroes you needed coming to your aid? I mean, if you're in a car accident and maybe you're stuck in there, you want a firewoman or fireman to come and use those jaws of life they use to get you out. You want the ambulance drivers to be good at what they do. You go to the hospital, they want to make sure they check you out. So there's heroes. There's so many heroes that help us every day. Heroes are not born. I never saw, unless it's a superhero movie where the hero just flies out of the womb. Right? That doesn't happen, right? But heroes, they're not made. I mean, they are made, they're not born. So they're shaped by their experiences, their beliefs, and their values. That's the most important one, the values that heroes have. They're driven by a desire to make a positive impact on our world, in your world, in my world. I've always believed that we all live in our own world, but we share a world together. Each one of you guys lives in your world. It's your world. It's your thoughts. It's your ideas, your concepts. But that's your world. And then you share that with me in my world and with each other. So thank you for sharing, for being a hero. You know, to make it a better place for you and me, you have to be a hero. In times of crisis, heroes emerge all the time. They're the ones who run toward danger when others run away. They're the ones who put their own lives on the line to save others without a thought to themselves. I can think of a particular hero. Lisa, you know I have 5 sisters, right? You're my 6th, but one of my actual sisters, Marlene, who survived 2 terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers in New York City. The first one took place on February 26, 1993. On that day, a van loaded with approximately 1,200 pounds of explosives They drove it into the public parking lot, which was underneath the World Trade Center. The second, I mean, my sister came out of there. There was smoke everywhere. You know, the second was 9/11, and we all know what happened with that. My sister was in the first tower. But here's the thing. My sister had been going through some physical challenges of her own, cancer, back surgeries. So she was using a walker. Everybody's running. She's with a walker. No one stopped to help her. But you know, she stopped to help other people. She helped people who were super able to move. She remembers telling me about a guy that she helped, and the guy just like, she helped him get up because he had fallen down. She helped him up. He got up, he looked back, and he ran away. He just ran. He forgot to even realize that she's the one that helped him get up and get out of there. She was not thinking about herself. She is my hero. And she's that guy's hero. And there's countless of other people she helped that day. Somehow she miraculously made it out herself. Can I tell you, she's still battling different things, but she has the greatest smile, the greatest time. She laughs all day long, no matter what tribulation or pain she's going through. She's a true hero. So heroes are the ones who inspire us to be better. She inspires me. All of you inspire me to do more, to be better, to give more. But heroes don't just exist in times of crisis. They are present in our lives every single day, in the small acts of kindness and compassion that we show others. They're the ones who volunteer. I love seeing people volunteer. It's amazing. They donate not only their time, but sometimes their money, their cars. I've known people who've donated their houses. My other sister has taken so many people into her home, people she didn't even know, and helped them get jobs and all these different things. I am blessed to know so many heroes. By lending a hand to a neighbor in need, let me tell you, a hero is a mom who tends to a scraped knee. She's a hero to that kid, right? A team member who takes on extra responsibilities to make sure the job is done and on time. Come join me in New York on July 14th through the 16th and learn and be inspired by my amazing team of heroes and rub elbows with amazing human beings. I would love to show you guys this quick promo of my event in New York. Here you go.
Heroes Rising Apex is the highly anticipated business event of the year. This gathering of industry leaders, entrepreneurs, authors, and visionaries promises to be a game-changing experience that will inspire, educate, and provide amazing networking opportunities. Get ready to immerse yourself in a world of innovation, strategy, and collaboration as we embark on an unforgettable journey of learning, growth, and success. Join us in New York on July 14th through the 16th.
I got to tell you, I am inspired just by the commercial myself. You know, we definitely will take you to new heights for sure. We all have the potential to be heroes. We can make a difference in our own small ways by being kind to others, by standing up. You guys all said it. You know, Ahmard, you said it. Everyone here. We all know what it takes to be a hero by standing up for what you believe in, by making a positive impact in our communities. Our communities extend further and further. The more impact we make, we can start to touch the world. So let us celebrate our heroes in our lives, both big and small. Let us honor their sacrifices, their bravery, and their selflessness. And let us strive to be heroes ourselves, to make the world a better place, one small act of kindness at a time. reach out to the heroes in your life. Sometimes we forget. They're like so strong. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. But we forget to say thank you. Thank them. Honor them. Buy them a meal. Do something nice for them. You know, we may not see it as they don't see that they're being courageous or that they're doing something extraordinary. It's just who they are. It's everything about them. They're a hero. Just remember, heroes have feelings too. And sometimes other heroes need heroes in their lives. We can be a hero by sharing a smile with someone. We can be a hero by just smiling, a big, beautiful smile. I know you all have one. So I want to see that beautiful smile on each one of you. So can I see that beautiful smile? Yeah, that's it. That's the beautiful smile I'm looking for. You guys inspire me. You inspired me today. Every time we have a connection, Ahmard, you and I just recently connected, but man, did we not feel that connection right away?
We did. We did. And you just tapped into it with what you just said. And I literally just got through talking about this when you talked about showing gratitude for those people in your life. For your people out there, man, go get you a pack of 50 thank you cards from the store right now. And every week, send one to somebody. Dig back to the teacher who gave you a shot. Give back to the person who was a caretaker for you when you were a kid. Give back to a former employer who did you right and maybe you've moved on to their job. Give it to different family members, different friends, people at your churches, people in your community. Just send one a week. Just one a week. So that's 52 acts of gratitude. Watch how your life changes by that one small move. If you decide to put a $5 Starbucks gift card in there, say, I appreciate you, a latte in there.
Wait a minute. Hang on. I got to stop you. $5 just buys the spoon.
It's not enough. You can't get a drink.
I know. I guess you got to jump up to 10. It's inflation.
$7.50.
Make it 10.
You used to come out to $4.82, but now we're over that. I get it. You know, maybe you can only get a pint. For you people who do the ice in it, you're gonna have a problem. But a small act of kindness. The card is enough. If you want to kick it up a little bit, that's what it is.
Without a doubt.
You do those little acts of kindness, and I'm telling you right now, you will see things happen in your life that you have no clue where they came from, but we know where it came from. It came from something bigger than you. But I just want to throw that in there because I feel like those little things are things that are missing in society today. And we need to bring those old school things back. Not a text message. I'm talking about a physical note in someone's mailbox so that they can open it up and feel the love within whatever amount of words you decide to put on that piece of paper. Try it and let us know how it works out.
It does
I
work
love
out.
that. It would work perfectly. Can I add to that? Because I love people. If you in the morning say, I'm going to touch somebody's life today, just make that dedicate. And it doesn't have to be anything other than a smile, a really nice gesture. How are you doing? You know, just taking a moment because you don't know what that one moment can mean to that. So make your kindness thing that you're going to do something every day. Like you're going to say something, actually reach out and touch somebody every single day. It will enrich you. It'll enrich them. Yeah.
Reminds me of that old commercial, the AT&T commercial, reach out and touch someone.
Yes. That was really so true. And it's brain-based too, which I love. I'm kind of a brain geek, but I love that it's in science and in heart. Science of the heart and science of the brain. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You
know, when you do one small act of kindness, listen, you don't know what people are going through in their lives. You know, when somebody wants to get in front of me, please, by all means, get in front of me. Somebody this morning, actually, somebody literally cut me off and wouldn't even look at me because they cut me off in a way that we were at a stop sign. So they cut me off, and they had to wait. So I wasn't mad. I was just like, whatever. I mean, you may have somewhere to go. I mean, I do too, but please go for it. So we need to just have sympathy for people, and some empathy too, because we don't know what they're going through or what has happened in their lives. So definitely buy a bunch of cards. One of the things that, as a guy who I don't gamble unless I go to Vegas, but I do have a bunch of cards here. So one of the things that I do, I use these because sometimes I do woodworking, and they come in as great little shims. You can create little space with it, right? So everything is a tool. The other thing I use this, I just want to share with you guys what I do with kids. I don't teach them how to play cards. What I do is I flip the number. I flip it, and they have to count. So now all of a sudden their brain is going, I go, what's the next number? What's the next number? So they go like, this is 9, this is 7, this is the, and then they have to keep counting. And on top of the count, they have to keep adding to it. And sometimes I'll do that with multiplication. And so the kids are like going, this is crazy. And I'm like, yes, but your brain is working, right? So I know you would appreciate that, Lisa, being brain fit. I love that. Because we are engaging their brain. Listen, Ahmard, you're going to make us do 100 push-ups. I'm going to make you do 200.
No, I'm not going to make you do 100 push-ups. I'm thinking about something far more medieval.
I love it.
Then the push-up, then 100 push-ups.
I've been over here masterminding like a full like Black Friday type workout for you all. Let's just go ahead and break the ice.
Let's get into it. Come on.
Let's go. Stay tuned. Give me 7 minutes.
7 minutes. I love it.
I love it. This is why we get along, because I think everybody here understands the brain, that we have to engage the brain every single day in order to become more. Right? Every day. Yeah. If I'm not learning, man, I might as well stay in bed under the covers, because it's a day wasted for me. That's my personal thing, right?
Yeah. So good.
I love that. It is almost like you can exercise all these things. We're talking about exercising the body, but exercise your generosity, exercise your kindness. Think of it the same way. The more you do it, the better you be, the more it'll have a more impact on you, your spirit, your soul. So I love that. So yes, let's all exercise in all ways.
Every way. Yes.
There's so many. And we could probably do a whole Heroes Rising just on acts of generosity and how to creative ways to be able to do that. Just hit the ATM.
So we'll schedule that, Ahmard.
Yes.
Here's the cool thing that you just mentioned, something that I know the guy that does all the scheduling for all this stuff. So I'll talk to him.
Talk to a guy.
Put in a good word. Put in a good word for Clint.
You'll talk to him tonight. You'll talk to him tonight.
Yeah. Tell him I said hello. I mean, I'm praying for him like right now. So I appreciate him already in advance.
Yeah, there you go. Listen, I want to thank every one of you. I know we went a little bit over, but man, I think we can go for another 3 hours, because the feeling in this room is not only, and I know it's a virtual room, you're all in your own places, but it's such love and care and compassion for not only each other, but for learning and for inspiring other people. So thank you so much. Really appreciate everyone here.
Thank you, Raphael.
You guys go kill it out there. Go do it. Do it every day. I know you do it every day. I know I don't have to tell you that, but you know what? I will always inspire you to do more, because you're amazing. Keep being the hero that I know you all are. I told you I love heroes.
Thank you.
By the way, I see all your capes. All right. Say goodbye to everybody. And you guys stay on for a minute, and then we're just going to say goodbye to everybody. All right, everybody. Have an amazing day. In 2 weeks, we're back. I'll see you then. Have an amazing time. Bye, everybody.